Allison comes to in a basement surrounded by dead girls. She's alive, but she has a deep stab wound in her side. The basement door is locked, and upstairs in the house lives a huge man wearing a mask, who occasionally comes down and takes the other girls' bodies away one by one. To avoid giving herself away, Allison has to pretend to be dead, while simultaneously trying to figure out how to escape the situation she's in. One of the key factors in a genre film's success is the idea at its core, the so-called logline, a brief description of the plot. It needs to be vivid, unusual, sharp, and spark the imagination at full throttle, so that as a potential viewer you instantly picture something striking, charge your expectations, and, in turn, build anticipation for the film. The logline of the Argentine-New Zealand thriller Play Dead is exactly that. Simple but promising, built around a non-obvious twist, a defenseless girl confronting a killer by consciously choosing inaction rather than action. It's one of those cases where the idea alone sells the movie before the first frame. Director Carlos Goitia and screenwriters Gonzalo Melid and Camilo Zafara try not to betray those expectations. The film is indeed structured as a one-woman suspense thriller, with the lead actress spending nearly half the runtime pretending to be dead. But in practice, the situation turns out to be eerily hollow, as if the film is afraid to fully exploit its own potential from the very start. The actions available to Allison in the basement can literally be counted on one hand. She stitches up her wound, tries to use her phone, and attempts to open a boarded-up window. But there's very little in the way of genuine tension. Overall, the movie is shot and edited in a fairly relaxed manner, with no real attempt to crank up suspense through purely cinematic techniques. Even so, its runtime barely creeps past 70 minutes, 10 of which are taken up by opening and closing credits. It's obvious that the idea, at least as it was put into production here, wasn't enough for a feature-length film but would have worked better as a short. Viewers from the TikTok generation with built-in ADHD may find themselves bored, splashing around in shallow plot and dramaturgical waters. And it's not because the filmmakers are leaning into atmosphere or a pervasive sense of dread. The film stretches time simply because it has nothing else to offer. Unfortunately, Play Dead also can't boast striking visuals. Its bright, punchy poster is far more effective than the flat, washed-out imagery of the film itself. Of course, this is a low-budget genre project, not produced by a major Hollywood studio, so expectations should be tempered. But we've seen plenty of low-budget thrillers that looked far more engaging and appealing, if only there had been a desire to tell the story through visuals as well. In the end, carrying this overlong and rather nondescript film falls to its lead actress, Paula Brasca, who spends 3/4 of the movie alone on screen. And she's the one thing there are no complaints about. She's energized and convincing even when the filmmakers put her character into contrived and implausible situations. Play Dead is certainly not a movie that allows an actor to fully showcase the breadth of their range. But the fact that you more or less make it to the end, solely because of Brasca, says a lot about her as a performer.